Down to hear from createyourfuture.co. So guys, today I'm answering the subscriber questions from the YouTube chat. So yeah, let's dive into it. Exciting. Just before I do, guys, when we get to 100,000 subscribers, as a thank you for you guys liking, commenting, and sharing our channel to spread the word, we're actually giving away 3 free coaching sessions, one to each person, so 3 different people with the coach of your choice on the team. So in order to enter, subscribe, make sure you're subscribed, share our videos and tag us, and also comment what you've manifested using the law of assumption, or even, you know what, I mean, comment what your favorite intention is, right? Or your favorite affirmation. Like, let's share and spread the positivity, and let's help each other, right? So, and guys, you know what? We do have a free course if you don't already have it. It is How to Find Your Blocks to Manifest Anything Fast. I wrote the course. It's a really good course. It's going to help you to be able to really bring up you know, what your thoughts are and really fine tune what your mental diet's going to be, because mental diet is so incredibly important, guys. And of course, you know what, we're always having sales. I'm having sales on my courses and affirmation tracks, as well as many other coaches here. We love having sales. So if you like a sale and you're interested in our courses or any of our coaching, definitely check it out. You know, I did coaching for many years, and I personally liked coaching because it was like an hour to talk about me and an hour to like really focus on what I wanted to create my future to be. Whereas, you know, it's like with my friends or with my family, you know, well, not really my family, my friends, talking with them, you know, they kind of didn't really, you know, they didn't make it about me. You can't make it about you for the full hour with your friends. You know what I mean? Because it's a friendship. It's an exchange thing. So, you know, what we offer with coaching is, you know, helping you to find your blocks, you know, talking about you, helping you to create customized intentions and an action plan. And if anything, you know, talking, you know, for the whole time about what you want your future to be. So when you're talking with somebody and bouncing off them what you want your future to be, you're actually creating it. You're creating it right then and there, and they're listening, right? So, you know, I'm really lucky. You know what? I do that with Andrew. You know, we go out for dinner and we talk about those things, our future, you know, what we want to create and manifest. You know, we've done that many, many times. So, you know, if you have someone in your life that does that, great. If you're not comfortable talking about, you know, whatever you're manifesting with anybody in your life, well, then we're completely confidential and we're here to help, you know. But you know what? You guys know this. We give everything away for free in our videos that you need to manifest anything you want in your life. Okay. So, you know, we're not saying you have to sign up for any of our courses or coaching to find a secret, because there is no secret. I mean, your thoughts create. There you go. That's out of the bag. You know, it always makes me laugh when I see video titles that are like, the thing nobody ever tells you about law of assumption, right? Or law of attraction. It's like, really? There's something new? There isn't anything new. Your thoughts create. Neville said it all. I'm sorry. Neville said it all. Right? So anyway, yeah, so actually the question that we have, the first one that we're starting off with, and guys, just so you know, these are the questions that you type into, like on YouTube, asking questions. And when our social media team says, oh, great, good question, we'll forward it to the coach, this is how we get it. So this is a question somebody left off my video a couple days ago. And it says, how about a video on how hard a mental diet can be before it gets easier, and the discipline it takes to get your manifestation? It hurts at first, but it gets easier each day. Thanks. You know what? And that is totally right. It does hurt at first, and it does get easier each day. And, you know, so what happens is, right, you know, when you make a declaration for something, you say, okay, this is what I want. Okay. All of a sudden, when you make a declaration and say, okay, I want Jerry to be my SP, all of a sudden, I don't even know where Jerry went. He used to be down here. Oh, he's over there. Anyway, when you make a declaration for something, what ends up happening is the universe is going to highlight everything that you don't have to get you there, including your thoughts. Okay. It's going to say, okay, well, you know what you want, you know, you say, well, I intend Jerry wants to be in a committed relationship. And then all of a sudden the universe is going to go, oh, but you know what? You feel like Jerry rejects you. He never calls you. He doesn't make you a priority. Jerry's friends are going to pop up. So these are all good things, because as you're making your intentions and staying on your mental diet, saying, no, you know what? I intend that Jerry wants to be in a committed relationship with me and makes me a priority. And then all of a sudden your mind goes, oh, but you know what? He's always goes out with his friends. No, I intend he goes out with me more than his friends, right? Or I intend he invites me with his friends. And as you go through and you make these intentions, new little negative thoughts may pop up. And that's a good thing, because that's your brain going, you need to resolve this little voice before we move on. And then you just acknowledge it. You say, okay, you know what? I feel like he doesn't contact me enough. Okay, I intend he calls me every day, or whatever the case is. Or you're like, oh, but he's got baggage. He never wanted to be in a relationship again. He told me that. So then you turn around and you say, oh, thank you for sharing voice. You say, I intend he does want to be in a relationship with me. I intend he's over his baggage, right? So as these things show up, whether it's in your mind as your little voice, or, or it's out in your reality reflecting back to you, you just acknowledge it and thank it for being there and change it in that spot, going, yeah, you know what? I want to be in a relationship with my SP, and I don't like the fact that he's saying that, or she's saying that, she's got baggage and doesn't want to be with me. Okay, this is what I want instead. I intend they're over their baggage and they're ready to be in a relationship, because the only person that, you need to convince in all of this is you. So trying to talk to your SP and convince them that they should love again is only going to push them away. Because if you're holding the story that they got baggage, then you need to change that story and assumption within you, right? So yeah, mental diets are a bit difficult at first, right? You really need to buckle down and go, okay, what are my main thoughts, right? So, and your main thoughts are going to come from your main complaints, okay? Now, once you get your main complaints out and you write them into positive intentions, okay, then you take that list, and I suggest reading it 3 times a day for at least a week. Read that list, okay? In the meantime, throughout the day, as thoughts come up about whatever subject that you're really manifesting and focusing on, you want to keep on top of it. For every one negative thought you have, I like to put 3 there. So if I'm like, oh my God, you know what? I don't think that Jerry wants to marry me. No, I intend Jerry wants to marry me. He's happy to be in a relationship. He's over his baggage and he wants to spend the rest of his life with me. And then I move on, right? So once you've done your list and you're reading it and you're doing it for about a week, right? What you'll find is like that static and that difficultness will go away. And you'll find that you'll start spiraling higher instead of spiraling into the negative. So once you get going on a mental diet, right, you'll have the same effect as, okay, so you guys know when you basically have a negative thought and you like completely spiral out and down, it gets worse and worse. Well, the same thing happens in the opposite way when you do a mental diet long enough. When you do a mental diet long enough, you start to spiral up and you get all these great ideas. They just all of a sudden start flowing in and they get easier. It's like, yeah, you know what? He wants me in a committed relationship and he wants to be with me. And then boom, 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 boom. And next thing you know, you're like, wow, I'm creating this wonderful thing, right? So, it's basically you've given fuel to it. And then the more fuel you give to it, the easier it gets. And the easier it gets, the more positive thoughts that'll add on there. It's just at first, you've got to tip the balance, okay? So at first, it seems like you're going up the hill, you're battling all these negative thoughts. And then you get to a point where you sort of have this breakthrough. And then all of a sudden, woo, you're just like positive thought after positive thought. And you're like, wow, I can't even believe I thought negative about this. Like, how silly of me. Okay. And usually when you get to that point at the top where you're about to go down, that's when things start showing up, right? So as you're at this spot, going up and dealing with those negative thoughts, you are going to start seeing like little signs, bird before land, because you're starting to shift your story. Okay. So, when you're starting to see those, little signs ahead of time, which, they're not really signs, they're just partial manifestations, but call them signs if you want, call them whatever you want, whatever you call them, make sure that you create the story. Okay. I'm seeing this, it's working. Okay. I got to change a few more things. I got to, handle a few more negative thoughts. I've got to, a few more things come in my 3D I don't want, got to battle them. Right. So, but it does, I promise, get easier till it's just like you wake up and you're like, today's going to be a great day. You know what? I'm in a relationship. I'm having a great time. And I think also the big thing is you've got to accept your current reality. You can't resist it, because the more you resist it, the more it's going to persist, because resisting it is focusing on how much you don't want it. And we cannot focus on what we don't want. We have to focus on what we want. Okay. And we have to understand, as much as it may hurt, whatever you have right now, you actually created and manifested. Okay. So let's say right now it's the worst situation it could possibly be for your relationship. It couldn't get any worse. Okay. You created it. You created it. It was your doing. So you just have to accept it and go, okay, that's fine. That's fine. This is what I want to create instead. This is what I want to see instead. And how do you act in the 3D? Well, you act according to what's showing up. Okay. So let's say you've got, your SP, your friends with benefits. Okay. And you want to be in a relationship. Okay. So if you're resisting your situation, what that's going to look like is you saying, oh, okay, that's it. You know what? Either you want a relationship with me or I'm leaving. Okay, that's resisting what you currently have. Okay, that's totally resisting what you currently have. Okay, so what I would do to not resist it, if you're in a friends with benefits situation, recognize you created that. And then you say, look, you know what? We're in this situation because the next step is us getting into a relationship. Okay. And then, you know what? Continue on. Now, okay, I'm not telling you, okay, look at if you're unhappy with it and you've got these feelings that you're being used and rejected and you don't want to do that anymore. Okay, well, you can take a step away from that friends with benefits situation and get that story under control. Because if you have the story that they're using you and that it's not going anywhere, then that's exactly what you're going to get. Okay. So, you know, I've been in friends with benefits situation before. It's also sometimes called dating. Right? You're like, you know, dating the person, but you don't actually have a relationship. Okay. You're not actually committed. Okay. Well, you know what? Intend that that's the first step leading into the commitment rather than looking at that situation that they're just using you and you're not going to get anywhere from it. Okay. Because really, how your relationship turns out and how you manifest it is all up to you and what you think in your assumptions, right? So if you don't want to be used and you don't want, you know, this situationship to not go anywhere, then stop thinking that. Don't think that. Think that that's, you know what, turning into a relationship next month. You're doing this because you really do want each other, and figure out what the story you're telling yourself is to keep that, you know, friends with benefit or situationship in place, because you would definitely have a story if that's what you're getting. Is it your assumption about the other person? Is it your assumption about relationships? Is it assumption about yourself? I don't know. Only you can tell because it's your thoughts creating it, right? So anyway, yeah, you know what, we kind of got off on a tangent there, but I really feel like this was a great video. And I feel, even though I got no help from Jerry, that I did a great job on it and I gave some great information. So yeah, I know I was really inspired to make this video. The other thing, there was a question, you know, that somebody had in the comments that I just want to touch on as well, was, you know, basically that if, for instance, you know, they don't get things, like basically their thing was, well, you know what, it matters to me how something manifests in my reality. And I asked them why, and they said, because if it doesn't show up exactly how I intended it, then I want to prove to myself that this works and I can get things how I want it. And, you know, and the funny thing is with that, right, is wanting to control the how, and, you know, and basically being so caught up and attached to how things happen to prove to yourself that you actually do manifest, is basically a block. It's a complete block, because you're manifesting everything all the time. Everything in your reality is a manifestation. Every thought you have is your magic wand. Everything in your reality, absolutely everything, is a creation of you. You are God of your quantum bubble. If you don't feel comfortable saying that, don't. But you are in control of everything in your little quantum bubble. That's your biodome, okay? That is your domain, okay? You are whoever you want to be. You are the lead character. You are the writer. You're the director. This is your little biodome. That's your little quantum bubble, and you've manifested absolutely everything in it. So you can control the how and you can control the when. But what I'm saying is don't make the how and when not going the way you want it, meaning that you don't know how to do this, because you do know how to do this. So many factors go into the how and when that, you know what, a lot of the times, you know, people like myself, I just, you know what, I give up the how and the when. I say, well, not the when. I do create things on a timeline, but the how, not really. Sometimes I create the how, but you know what, I know what's going to happen anyway. So why do I need to create how it happens? You know, well, all I say though, trust me, is that I intend it happens easily and effortlessly for me, okay? I don't want a lot of, you know, issue with the how. I'd like it to be smooth. I'd like it to be quick. I'd like it to be easy. Now, I do create on a deadline. And how I create on the deadline is, I will say, I don't usually say like by, you know, what I'll say is it happens before next Friday. So like, for instance, I was waiting for an appointment, and apparently there was like, you know, a 3-week wait. So I had an appointment, it was 3 weeks out, and it was basically the same day I booked the appointment. I thought to myself, I don't want to wait 3 weeks. I want this sooner. I'm like, I intend to have it by like next Friday. And then sure enough, and then I was like, no, actually Thursday. And then sure enough, next Thursday it came along, right? So, you know, and this was something I had, you know, a lot of attachment to. Like I really needed this appointment. It wasn't something that I really didn't care about. Like I cared enough about it to manifest it sooner. And of course they said to me at the time, they're like, oh, there's a huge wait list. We're never going to call you. And I was like, no, you're going to call me. I'm like, it's summer holidays. Everybody's gone. I'm like, of course you're going to call me, you know? So, you know, you can create the how and the when. Just don't make it not showing up how and when you want it mean that you're not doing this right or you don't know what you're doing. You are powerful. You can't mess this up. As long as you can think, you know how to do this. You're already an expert at it. The only thing is guiding your magic wand. So focusing your thoughts on what you want with a mental diet. Okay. Anyways, guys, you know what? Thank you so much for being here. And guys, keep those questions coming under the comments of the videos. We really love it. It helps us because it's like, what we make so many videos. We're like, what are we going to talk about this week? So I personally really appreciate it. And I know a lot of the other coaches do as well. So we love answering your questions. I also do lives once a month. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell icon so you get notified when I do a live, because I answer the questions in the chat as well as the Patreon. So anyways, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.